Hello, guys. Here we are again with Turnkey Open Doors. We're here with Lisa Fontana, I believe. Is that correct? Did I say it right?
Yes.
Lisa
Yes.
Fontana. She works with Advanced Paralegal Services, and she is basically going to discuss with us different things that paralegals do. And this is her business, and she is an independent contractor. She's been doing this for a while. I'll let her talk. Tell me about yourself. Tell me who you are as a person, Lisa. And then afterwards, I want to learn about your secretary. Tell us a little bit about her too, okay?
Okay. You got my name correct, Lisa Fontana,
Okay,
and
cool.
I am a Jersey girl.
There you go.
Now living in beautiful Kissimmee, Florida. Um, this is not the first time I have hung my shingle as Advanced Paralegal Services. I had Advanced Paralegal Services in New Jersey as well,
Okay.
probably about 15 years ago. And then I was heavy in real estate, and the market plummeted in 2009. So I moved, in-house and went corporate. But then when I relocated to Florida, I just decided that virtual is the way to go. I have 3 children. They're all grown. Empty nester, and they're all trying to find their way and all doing well and healthy. Knock on wood. And yeah, so that's it in a nutshell.
Awesome. So real quick, where did you come up with Advanced Paralegal Services as a name? Is that something that you just came up with, or?
Yeah, I kind of sort of have a creative side of me also. I don't know if I mentioned, but maybe later we could talk about it. But I'm also an author of children's book series.
Oh,
But
wow.
so like names are my game.
That is
But
cool.
I wanted something that started with an A, because way back, and I'm dating myself here, way back when we used to use phone books,
Oh.
A was, first letter of the alphabet. So
Yeah.
anyway, I came up with Advanced Paralegal Services, APS, and it just kind of stuck. So
Okay.
nothing more than that.
So apart from the
Yeah.
name, tell me about your business. What is it that you do exactly, and what makes you successful in what you do?
Well, I have been a paralegal for about 20 years now. I started out as a legal secretary, and way back then, paralegals were just starting to come as a profession in law firms, not in corporations at the time, but in law firms. So I decided to get my certification and see, it's a year-long study method. This was an ABA approved school in New Jersey, and I figured, well, let me see if I like it, and if it tweaks my brain, if I'm good at it. Do you think I'll grow? Will it allow me to increase my salary? And it was yes to all the above. And I finished my certification, and then I went on to finish my bachelor's, and just kind of grew from there. As I've lived on the East Coast, Midwest, and West Coast. So I've worked in many different areas of the nation, and some people look at that as a downfall, but I have a very diverse head of law of legal support, I should say, in my brain because of that. Especially after living in California, things are a little different there, and more regulated with respect to everything. So I give kudos to all the lawyers out there that have California bar licensing, because God
Yeah.
bless you. But anyway, that's how I've accumulated all my experience. This was just, I started in law firms and moved to corporate. And then it got to the point where I was very heavy in real estate, and I worked for K. Hovnanian in-house, and I actually was the corporate paralegal that drafted all the public offering statements.
Wow.
So, and this is in New Jersey. So when New Jersey Department of Community Affairs got wind that, you know, I've just become an ace and kind of an expert at public offering statements, they started sending my name to K. Hovnanian's competitors.
Yeah.
with my phone number, and I'm like, no, I'm in-house, I'm corporate, I can't help our competitors.
Yeah.
So kind of put a bird in my ear and said, you know what, Lise, you probably could be doing this on your own and hiring other law firms that that don't just work for KHOV, but work for Ryan and DR Horton of the world. So that's how it all started.
That's awesome.
And then within that, as you know, in being in real estate yourself, public offering statements are just a big mesh of information overkill. But you have to talk to accountants, you have to talk to engineers, you have to talk to architects, you have to hire the property managers. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because it's very time consuming. Sometimes it could be very, very tedious. However, lawyers just don't have enough time in their day to put together all those pieces to the puzzle that a POS, public offering statement has.
Yeah.
So that's my real estate background. But so now when I moved around the nation, I became very good at contract negotiations and drafting up leases, doing helping out with depositions and doing trial prep, which is a lot of fun. Sitting in on trials and being the lawyer's, right hand. And, that's what Advanced Paralegal Services is all about. We just offer the support that law firms and corporate legal departments need, whether it's downloading files, e-discovery, drafting pleadings, you name it, we do it.
So you guys are basically like, for instance, like you guys, like paralegals, what's the difference between you and a lawyer? Like, is there a huge difference? Is there certain things you can and cannot do?
Yeah, you know what? Out of just clear respect, lawyers have a vast majority of ability to know the law wherever they have, are licensed. We're not licensed. We could be certified.
Mm-hmm.
I know a few paralegals, not many. I know a few that are not degreed, haven't earned their bachelor's, but there are associates programs out there that you can get an associate degree plus go to an ABA approved certification program. And a lot of law firms and legal department corporations will accept that instead of having a bachelor's.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, one of the big descriptive words for legal is diversity and flexibility in organization. I know there are a lot of paralegals out there that are strictly real estate or strictly personal injury or strictly insurance defense. But then there are a few out there like myself that, oh yeah, I've done that. Oh yeah, I've done that. um, and when you find out that you're good at it, it's like, how do you just pick one? How do you pick one? So I love corporate governance. I love creating entities. I dissolve entities.
Oh, wow.
I do annual reporting. I do SEC work, fact backup.
Yeah, before we spoke, you said you could draft up wills and trusts as well.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends in my community that are transplants to Florida, like myself, and they need their wills updated to Florida law, and so I take what they give me, what they had from previous states, and I upgrade it. If it needs upgraded, sometimes it levels itself out where there's nothing to change.
Someone just asked if you can help with immigration by any chance. Is that something that you can help with? Or
you know what? That is one topic, one part of the law that I do not dabble in is immigration. That's seriously specialized, and I thought about that's not the first time I've been asked. But I just can't. I know that there are a lot of forms that need to be filled out, that are kind of intimidating for any individual who's trying to get through the immigration process. And I'm just not. That's not my forte. That's not my forte, and I'll be the first to tell you.
So you also told me that you do legal documents like the ones that you find in websites that you can purchase. You look at them before they actually put them out. Tell us a little bit about that. Yes.
Well, sometimes consumers will say, "Oh, well, I can. I want to be. I just bought this house, and I'm going to rent it, and I can be my own landlord, and I'm not going to hire a law firm to represent me. I'm just going to buy a lease online or download it from Google or go to LegalZoom, and then which are all wonderful resources. But when it comes time to actually realizing, how much liability do I have? Am I missing any type of language? What's the Florida law with respect to eviction? What if I have, just the wrong tenant who I know she's not giving me access to my own house?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of aspects that my legal support service can review and give some options and recommendations that certain language should be added, or you have too much language in there.
Yeah.
You have too much information, which now, confidentiality is huge in today's society, especially with all the personal information that is out there. But in the legal world, we call it PII, and it's personal identification information. And we have to make sure that we're covered in, security wise, and landlords are included in that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's funny that you say that. We work in property management in my company, and we always tell people that it's one of the most litigated in the state of Florida, usually because there's so many evictions, so many things that can happen, right?
Yes, and it's scary because, especially when you're just a little landlord and you own this one piece of property, and somebody wants to take you to court.
It's
And
it's a big asset to that
it
person too,
is
right?
it
Because it could be
yeah,
their retirement, it could be something really significant to them, right? So that's
exactly. And I, as an American citizen, I view that as an American dream, because my father is an immigrant, and when he and my mother were married, they did buy some properties, and this is, going back to 1970s, early 1970s. And it was tough on them, because at the time, um, half the landlords didn't even have their tenants sign leases. They're just
yeah,
like, oh, well, you were recommended to me, so you can move in. You'll
yeah,
take care. You'll take care of my house.
we get that.
No,
Yeah, we get that.
no. Yeah.
The month
So,
to month, no contract. You're my friend's
right.
friend, recommended kind of deal. Yeah, I completely get it.
Exactly. But you know what? My parents learned the hard way, but they did make the American dream come true. I mean, if there was a house to glom, to purchase on their block, they bought it.
That's
And
awesome.
either they would, flip it, or they would have a contract with the tenant and have a lease.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense. So you're virtual. Welcome to the COVID era. You've
yes.
been virtual before that, though. That's awesome. So tell me
Yes.
about that.
Yes, well, we have the ability here to work from our home office, as well as travel as needed. So I've had quite a few Florida clients, corporate specifically, that their in-house legal department would hire us, and we would go in maybe 2-3 days a week, depending, maybe sometimes only 5 hours a day, and then bring work home, and then everything else is done virtually. But yeah, sometimes, your client does need to see your face
Yeah, that makes sense.
in person. And the whole Microsoft Teams and Zooming sometimes just doesn't cut it, especially
Yeah,
when they involve you in the legal team meetings on a monthly basis. It's very important that we're there and that we understand, number one, the politics of the department, and number two, exactly what everybody's working on, and how we can be of service and support.
yeah, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. So you cover Florida, the state of Florida, but you can go outside of Florida as well
Oh,
if you need
yes.
to, or okay, that's
Yes.
good to know. Word on
Yeah.
the street is that you can marry people. You're a notary too. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but I don't want to. Don't do it. No. No, I have not been asked, but that doesn't mean that I would say no.
Yeah,
I I might refer them to somebody else, but
yeah. My brother-in-law does it, but he has a bad reputation in
oh
marrying
no.
people. Yeah, so we always forewarn people. We're like, don't do it. Don't.
He doesn't have a good score, does he?
His
No.
success rate is low compared to to his completion rate. But anyways, yeah. So you're a notary too. That's what I wanted to get out there. That's good. That's
Yes.
good to know. That's good.
Yes, and it has been great, because being a notary during the COVID-19, because there have been a lot of people that have been in the lurch, that they couldn't, the banks were closed, or they just couldn't get access to a notary, and then they would find me on either Nextdoor, or they would Google search me, notary, and find me, and we would meet out on my front porch with our masks, and
Get
yep,
it done. That's great.
notary done.
Yeah. So how's your business doing around COVID? Like, has it changed a lot? Are you adapting well? Is there something that you're doing that's different? What's going on with COVID? How is it like for you?
Well, as hired as an independent contractor, I have been hit
Yeah.
negatively, and I'm finding that I've upped my marketing game
That's good.
big time, which is how I found you. So,
That's good.
yeah, Facebook is a wonderful tool. LinkedIn is a wonderful tool.
Hmm.
I talk to recruiters on a daily basis, and I'm still plugging away.
Tell me a little bit about you have a partner, right? Like a business partner.
I
You
I
told me
do I
a little bit
do.
about it, but you don't touch on that. But I want people to know what else you guys do. So tell me a little bit about that you
Yeah,
can.
well, it's the financial security. So financial institutions, such as financial services companies, maybe corporate accounting departments, they have internal systems that sometimes don't have enough security, IT security,
Yeah.
and they have to be audited. Well, that's where Richard comes in. He's a certified auditor for IT risk.
Okay.
So, it's internal systems, internal security, whatever you want to, ISIT, IP, whatever.
You
But
don't
he
touch
does,
that, but you know about it, kind of.
yeah, he does. He does. I'm like, okay, timeout. It's way over my head. If you're
Speaking
not
with,
if you're not talking legalese and you're talking computerization, I'm not there.
Mhm.
I'm just not there. But
Got
he's excellent at it. Everybody loves him. He's been in that field for 20 years. So
it.
yeah,
So you said you get to sit in on cases sometime.
I do.
Are
Yeah.
are those like any kind of case, or is there a special kind of cases that you get to see, or?
Product liability.
Mhm,
There's a lot of landlord tenant
mhm.
and insurance defense. So those are the kind of cases that I have been privy to. I do not have a criminal law background. Um, I've always worked on the civil end.
I'm sure people were
So,
thinking that because everybody's always into those shows. You know what I'm talking about, like CSI and whatnot. So.
yeah. Hey, I like watching them just as much as the other guy, but the thing is that I don't want to get involved with that. So I'll keep it simple and civil,
There you go.
and I guess I'm a kind of a nerd, so
Okay.
I use it to my advantage.
So you must read on a normal basis, right?
I
You
do.
said tell us what you do outside of a paralegal, because I like this. You make books, right? You said.
Yeah, yes. I have one book on the market right now, but I have three in the works. And my little character is called Foofzar. That's Foofzar.
Uh huh.
And my first book, you can find me on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. .com. It's Foofzar meets Molly Rainbow.
Meets Molly
And
Rambo. Okay.
yes, and Foofzar represents strength, courage, and wisdom. He is not from the earth soil. He has many magical, wonderful traits that he helps children with, and I don't want to give out the whole
The
my
whole
whole
thing.
secret,
Yeah.
but through his strength, courage, and wisdom, he assists children in need. So my first book, Molly's dad is gone. Now you don't know if it was divorce or he passed away, but he's just gone.
Mhm.
So, Molly being small and intimidated by the fact that, she doesn't have a dad anymore. Foofsar comes in and takes over her case, and it gives her the strength and courage to understand that you don't have to have two parents in your life. That her daddy will always love her, and that she's got her mommy and her aunts and uncles and grandparents and so much so forth. But the real cool part of Foofsar is that every time he helps a child, he earns wing points. So his wings are getting a little bit bigger, and he flies, and he's fuzzy and purple, and he's got suction cups at the end of his fingers and toes.
Yeah.
So because he's a little wobbly, he crashes into things. But he also has foof dust, and he makes things fly, and so it's quite magic. He's quite magical, and he's very, very cool. And my second book that is in with the illustrator right now is Foofsar meets Little Jimmy Wright, and Jimmy is in remission from cancer, and he has to he has to return to school. I mean, he's supposed to report to fourth grade. Now he has no hair, and he's just self-conscious about that. And no eyebrows. He lost his eyelashes because of the chemo.
Wow.
And no hats are allowed in school. So so how does little Jimmy get through that? Well, in comes Foofsar, and the rest will be in print.
That's nice. That's awesome.
So that's my fun brain. That's my creative side. And I have a couple other characters that I've created too, and they've kind of popped. I created them after meeting people.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, that's kind of a funny person. I wonder, that reminds me of, and then I'll
come up with it.
Something
that's
cool.
No, that's cool. It's unique, and at least you're helping children go through something difficult.
Yeah, and my Little Jimmy Wright book, my goal is to have that book in print in children's hands in every children's hospital around the world. And I know that's a huge feat, huge. People think I'm crazy when I tell them that, but I'm like, you know what? People do it all the time. This happens all the time. And kids need it. Sometimes kids just can't open, an iPad because they don't have one.
Yeah.
To see an ebook. So sometimes it's good that, kids have something that's tangible, so I'm trying to fix my hair here.
No, it's good. It's good that it seems like you're real passionate about it. And I like that.
I am.
And it seems like it's the same thing with your work. Like they translate with one another. Like your paralegal services, you're very passionate and you love to do what you do. And then also on that book, you put all of your stuff like on the line, like all your creativity on the line to make somebody feel good about themselves. I think that's pretty powerful,
Well, thank you for that, William. That was very nice.
Yeah, yeah, of course. It's
that's
hard.
Good to hear.
There's not that many people in this world, especially nowadays, that can take out the time to help other people out, and just put out their hand and say, here I am, let me help you through this hard time. Right. And I can relate. I can see where you're coming from. And I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah. So real quick, before we wrap up, let us know where we can find you. It's on the bottom of the screen. Let us know your phone number, your email, your Facebook, whatever you want to do to let people know exactly how to get a hold of you, Lisa.
Okay, well, feel free to visit my website at advancedparalegalservicesllc.com. And right on the website, you can schedule a free consultation with myself or Richard or both of us. Either we can come to you, or we can do this. We can do the Zoom or my Microsoft Teams or Skype. However it works for the client works for us. But we have no problem with, getting in our car and traveling to meet you in person if needed. There's a lot of people can't get out, so we totally understand that. My email is also on the website, but it's lisa@advancedparalegalservicesllc.com. And my phone number is a cell, because we really don't have a landline anymore. It's my old Jersey number, 732-616-7777. That's 732-616-7777.
Awesome.
Yep.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on. You're actually the second person to be on here, and it was
great.
a pleasure speaking with you. I love this. This is a great way to, get people to know you, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Thanks, William. I did. Thanks so much.
All right. Well, we'll see you later, Lisa.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. So it's